Hello artists, Mrs. Arnold here with another art lesson for you guys. So excited. So what we are going to be working on today is it's going to be some word art, and this is a style of art that is called pop art, inspired by an artist named Roy Lichtenstein. So we are going to be looking at how we can use words and a certain type of word called an onomatopoeia to make our art project. So I'm very excited. What you are going to need, of course, a blank piece of paper. We definitely need that to get started. And other supplies, I am using a pencil and I am using marker. So if you do not have markers, you can use another material. That's totally fine. But as far as the markers that I need, I am going to be using my primary colors. These are the colors that the artist Roy Lichtenstein was very famous for using when he kind of originated this pop art, comic book art style. So red, yellow, blue, those are our primaries. I am also going to be using a Sharpie marker to define some of my lines. If you do not have a Sharpie marker or a permanent marker, you could also use a black marker. That's just fine. Or if you don't have one, it's okay. Don't worry about it. So this is kind of what I need, and let's get started. Alrighty, I've got my supplies here. I am ready to go. So when we are working on this today, oh my gosh, I'm sorry about my dog in the background. He's barking at the mailman. So anyways, I'm gonna pull out my markers. And I am thinking right now about the onomatopoeia that I want to use. When we talk about an onomatopoeia, what that is a word that is spelled the way it sounds. So what I mean is, for example, the word sizzle. When you think about that word, sizzle, it's actually making the sound like something sizzling in a pan. So here's a handkerchief that I have that has a bunch of different examples that are used in comics. Pop, pow, boom, wham, bang. Those are all words that they make that noise when they happen, but also when you say them. So think about one that you might want to use. It can be one of these, but it could also be any word that you would like. So I want to work really big on my paper. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to write out those letters really big. We're going to make big box letters, but I want to make sure that my spacing is good. So first I just wrote the word, and now I'm going to go in on the outside and the inside to make them like big bubble block words. So working on my W here. So I just kind of outline the original word that I wrote. And I'm just going to go in with my eraser and erase the original word so that I just have my big block letters left. Fagin, buddy, it's okay. Come on in here. He's wild today. So anyways, I am erasing. Pow. Perfect. I'm going to go in with my Sharpie. If you don't have a Sharpie, you can use a regular black marker. Or if you don't have one, that's okay. You could also use like a black crayon. So I'm outlining it as best I can. Actually, I kind of want to move where my W is. So I'm actually just going to shift that over. And that's okay because I'm going to want to erase my pencil line anyway. So I'm just going over my whole paper. Getting rid of any leftover pencil lines. Hey, buddy, come here. Oh, sweet puppy. Alrighty. Perfect. Got it. So now I'm going to make a shape around the outline. I'm going to use a zigzag line, just like you saw on my handkerchief that I had put out with all of those examples. I can see that while I'm doing this, it's really hard to make my zigzag lines so that like all of those little points are pointing out. So the way that I'm actually going to do this, when I go in with my Sharpie, I'm going to start at the top because it was nice and easy to do it that way. But I'm actually going to rotate my paper as I go because my muscles kind of remember to do it in that direction. So if I'm rotating my paper instead of rotating my hand, I know I'm going to get better results. So I'm just turning my paper as I go until all of those lines meet up. Perfect. Pow! Yes, this onomatopoeia is looking good. I'm going to make another one around it. If you want to switch your type of line, if you want to have a zigzag line and then a cloud line or a water line, that's it's totally up to you. Like if you want to look like it's like this zigzag pow on top of a cloud or something like that. I'll bring up my handkerchief again soon so that you can look at it for ideas, or you could rewind the video or hop back to where I did that. So some examples like the zigzag line I'm doing here, but you could use a cloud line. Let me pull this out. Yeah, so you can see. So there's lots of different designs that you can choose, and it doesn't have to be one of these. It could be any one you want. To use the water line, it looks like that. I actually really like that one. I wish I'd used that. Oh well, next time. It's okay. I'm going to erase all of my pencil lines again because I don't want those making my finished artwork look messy. And I'm just rotating my paper as I go because it makes it so much easier. You'll see me rotate it a lot all throughout this video. So I had mentioned the artist, Roy Lichtenstein. When he was making his pop art, he always used the primary colors. So I'm going to start with my yellow because it's my lightest marker. So whichever area you want to have yellow, you can start with that. So I'm going to color in all of the space surrounding my word with yellow. So when I'm using a marker, I like to outline kind of whatever like the border is of what I'm coloring in, because I think that makes it so much easier when I am coloring, because I know I'm not going to like go over those lines because I kind of have made a little barrier for myself. And I mentioned Roy Lichtenstein again, the artist. I've actually shared a link with you guys from a really big art museum called the Tate Museum. But I posted a link on the Google Classroom for you guys to look at if you want to learn a little bit more about him and see more examples of his artwork. So you can do a little art history research there. So you'll have to let me know what you think of his artwork. It's very much inspired by comic books, and he was a really, really important artist in what was called the pop art movement, with other artists like Andy Warhol and Jasper Johns. So if those are familiar names that you've heard before, they were making art at the same time he was. But not in this style. This is pretty iconically Roy Lichtenstein. All right, so I've got that all outlined. Perfect. Now I can just color in, and I don't have to worry about going over the lines. I just think it makes it so much easier, and I don't have to be as worried or stressed while I'm coloring in. Just filling in all of that space. And remember, this video is time-lapsed. I've sped it up, so if you need to pause it to catch up, that is a-okay. Or if you need to rewind to go see something else, go for it. That's totally fine. All right, almost have it here. Awesome, got it. All done with yellow. I'm going to switch to red now, and I'm going to make my letters red. So again, I am outlining the outside border. And the inside border. And then the fastest way, I think, is just by coloring in with solid lines. There I go. Fills it in pretty quick. And then I'm not worried about going back and forth and drying out my marker. Because I always want my markers, like these are my markers at home that I use. I want to make sure that they last me a really long time. And same thing with our markers at school. So I am doing this because I feel like it makes them last a lot longer because I'm not coloring over the same spot again and again. So then I am just filling in with my lines, just like I had mentioned before. All right, one more letter to go. Outlining it again, making my job that much easier. Awesome. And then, yep, filling it in with those lines. Almost there. Got it. Pow. Nice. Awesome. Switching to blue, my last primary, and I'm going to do the outside edge. And again, just rotating my paper as I go, making it as easy as possible for myself. Why not? I'm excited to see what words you guys choose for your onomatopoeia. Oh, my dog. He needed just a little bit of attention there, so. Oh no, Fagin! He's barking in the background again. He must just want to be the star of this video, I guess. Almost done. At least halfway, so that's good. All right, finishing up this step. Got it. Nice. All right, so the last step is I'm going to use my black marker and I'm going to go in with little dots like this. This is a style that Roy Lichtenstein originated, and it is just very iconically him. So when other artists see that, they know that it's inspired by Roy Lichtenstein. So I am going to fill in my whole background with those little dots. I kind of started doing lines across so I could just kind of like fill them in like even amounts. But once you kind of get the hang of it, you don't have to really worry about sticking to lines because you just kind of have a feel for how far apart they should be. You kind of develop a little muscle memory with it. And your hand just knows where to put a dot next. So I am just working on filling up my whole background. So in 4th grade, I like to do Roy Lichtenstein self-portrait projects. So you might be able to use this knowledge of onomatopoeias and pop art and Roy Lichtenstein when we work on that project together, whether that's this year or next year, depending on what grade you're in. Almost done. Woohoo! Got it. Yes, awesome. We are finished. Pow! I can't wait to see your guys' projects. Alrighty, artists. So there we have it. Great job. We have finished our Onomatopoeia pop art. And this is a project that we might use some of this knowledge in projects later on this year once we are back together in person. So I'm very excited. So I want to see your amazing artwork. So take a photo on your Chromebook and make sure to upload that to our Google Classroom so that I can see your amazing artwork. Again, remember that you want to have all 4 corners in that picture. You can either be holding it and smiling, or it can just be your artwork. Either way, that is just fine. I cannot wait to see it, and I will be back soon with another project for you guys. I will see you then.